Hello there. It's yoga time. Let's get into a child's pose. So I'm going to go in for a closed knee one because I'm going to try and tuck the whole of my body into a tight little ball. You can choose whether you want to do that one or you want to have your knees wide, your choice. Get yourself settling down and just think about where you can bring your head down. If you're tucked in like me, it's nice to bring your arms down by the side and then really relax your shoulders. Take some big deep breaths just to settle into this first pose. So I love starting practice with a child's pose because me, it's like starting with a blank slate. You're really tuning in and turning your gaze inward. You bring in your third eye and your crown down to the floor. Then you might feel just a gentle stretch in your lower back, and if you've got your knees wide, you might feel a little bit of an opening through your chest. But see if you can really relax your shoulders, make sure there's no tension anywhere in your body, including places where we sometimes don't recognize, like jaw, forehead. Always nice just to give yourself a little bit of a wiggle just to see how you kind of flow, and if you feel like it could be a little bit softer, you know that you've got a little bit of relaxing to do. So we're just going to take 6 big deep breaths here. And then make your last one the biggest, deepest breath with a really beautiful exhale. And then we're just going to come up into tabletop. And just check in, making sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. Your knees are about hip distance apart. Pushing your hands into the mat. And just see if you can just expand the spine. Just very, very slowly. So starting to also notice what's happening in the front of the body. Try not to drop down too much. We're going to have a little bit of moving here. So I want you to bring that left hand a little bit in towards the center. And this right arm, we're going to take it all the way into a circle and see if we can keep the gaze on that hand. We're going to do 2 in one direction. It's your choice how far you go with that arm. And then bringing it back and then reversing it. So these big circles. And notice how much you move through your body as you're doing that. Let's swap sides. So let's go forward with the left arm, and you might notice that this side isn't, or is better than the other. 2. Take the arm back. Good, well done. And then just come back to tabletop. And we'll do our cow and our cat. Let's drop the belly and just take the gaze up. We're going to hold for 6 breaths here. So just enjoying this belly dip. And just checking in, making sure that you're not holding tension in your shoulders, your neck, and your face, your jaw. And closing your eyes is always a nice thing to do so that you're not distracted by anything external, anything visual. You can really tune into what's going on in your body. Good. Let's have one more big deep breath here. And then very, very slowly, we're going to come back briefly to a neutral and then back, rounding through the spine. And we're pausing here for 6 breaths. So any movement with the head, I like to yes and I like to no. Shaking it out. Good. Let's have one more big breath in. And exhale, coming back to a neutral spine. Now we're going to keep the hips and the knees where they are. And we're just going to walk the hands over towards the left as far as you feel comfortable. And then slowly back. Take your time going over to the other side. And coming back. Well done. Now we're going to bring the right foot forward and bring the hands at either side. Take the left knee back just a little bit so that we can feel a bit of a stretch coming into and around the groin area. And as always, try and stack your knee above the ankle. So I've got tented fingers. That's where I'm lifting up the palm of the hand. So I've got more kind of reach with my fingers. And I'm just going to lift up and lengthen through the spine. So try not to compress the back of the neck. So we're not lifting the chin up too far. Imagine that you're kind of going forward with, it's like your third eye is coming forward. So your back is as straight as possible. Shoulders are relaxed. Neck feels quite long. Good. So as we're holding these deeper stretches, you're probably going to feel it intensify. If it feels too much, just soften back. Now we're going to curl the left toes under, lift up the knee, keep the hands where they are. So a little bit of a stronger pose. So pushing the heel back of this left foot is going to get all the muscles in that left leg to work. Just checking that the knee is above the ankle on the right side. And we've got that straight through the spine again. Fabulous. Let's drop the knee down. Just take the weight back. Let's get into our tabletop again. Just notice how that right hip feels. Let's extend that right leg out and just push into the heel. And let's return the knee. We're going to bring the left foot forward. So that right knee back as far as you want. Bearing in mind, we've not really warmed the hips up or anything, so don't go too deep with it. Allow the holding of the breath. Allow the holding of the pose to develop that stretch. That's what we try and do in our hatha practice. So we're lifting and lengthening through the spine. That's where you're going to feel it. It's like the hip is easing into a deeper stretch if you let it. So the more relaxed you are, the deeper you're going to stretch. So quite a lot of pressure on the fingers if you've got tented fingers. Maybe a little bit of muscle work on the arms. All good, all good. Well done. Let's curl the right toes under, lift the knee up and see what it feels like here. Just going to take the pressure off that left hip a little bit, but we're working more into the muscles. And then as we push the right heel back, you might feel that intensity again in the hip, lengthening through the spine, dropping that chin down a little bit. Fabulous. Can we get into a downward facing dog from here? If you need to go back into a tabletop, do that. If you can push back, take that left foot back. It's our first one. Let's pedal out the legs. You might feel quite a lot of pressure still in the hands. You can feel all the work that we've just done. So imagine that you're just being lifted up through the hips. Drop the head down. So try and engage kind of a neutral sensation in the shoulders and the hips. It's quite a difficult one to describe. So we're not trying to push into anything particular in those areas. Where can you feel it? So I can feel it through my arms because I'm pushing into the mat. Spread my fingers nice and wide. Dropping the head down, but try and have the head in line with the rest of the spine. So it's a straight back. Softness through the knees, lifting up the heels and pushing back. Imagine again that you're being lifted up by your tailbone, as if somebody's kind of got their hands just around your hips and kind of lifting you up. Good. Let's have a big deep breath in and an exhale to really relax your head all the way down, so it's dangling down. Good, and let's come into a forward fold. So a gentle walking forward to the center of the mat. Feet stay hip distance apart. Let's have the knees really soft so that we can bring the chest down. And just gently rocking backwards and forwards on the feet. Just giving your feet a little bit of love. Seeing how your toes feel. And just start to notice a little bit of an expansion through the lower back. And then your choice, whether you want to stay here or you want to stretch your legs out. Maybe you need to dangle your arms. So finding your version. I always kind of like to explore in a forward fold. Forward fold. I'm sure I've said it before. It's one of my favourite poses. It's just, I'm getting a stretch in the back of my legs, but I'm also getting that sense of relief through my spine, and I can feel a lot of space coming into my shoulders and my neck and around the head, which feels really good. Take it into a ragdoll if you want to. Have a little bit of moving. And then start to think about underneath the feet and soften the knees. I'm going to push all the way up into mountain. So tuck the tummy in. Keep the arms long, uncurling. And then I'm just going to do a quarter turn towards the long edge of the mat. You do it too. I'm going to keep the feet together for this one. And we're just going to swoop the arms up. So we've got big sun arms. Let's do that on an inhale and then bring them down on an exhale. Lifting up the gaze as you bring your hands up and then dropping the gaze down as you bring the hands down. Feeling a big expansion through the chest. Well done. Now we're going to do it once more, but we're going to keep the hands up and we're going to grab hold of the left wrist. I'm just going to take a little bit of a drop over towards the right. It's a very gentle one. Think about what your glutes are doing and do the opposite. So if you felt like your glutes were really being clenched, release them. And if you feel your glutes were nice and relaxed, I want you to clench them. So just becoming aware of our body and doing the opposite. Good. Let's take everything back up and releasing the arms. So we're just going to do a few more of the sun arms. Feels nice through the shoulders, releasing. So probably about 4 big deep breaths. If you notice any tingling through your fingers, give your fingers a little bit of a wiggle. Just to release. Let's make this last 2 really expansive. Good. So the last time we're going to bring our arms down, because when we bring them up again, we're going to grab hold of the opposite wrist, or it's the right one, and just take a little bit of a drop over toward the side. And we're lifting up here. So think about lifting up the chest, taking the right arm out of its socket. Always a lot of work for the body when you've got your arms above your head. Your heart's having to pump a little bit faster. And let's release, drop the arms all the way down and just come into mountain. So we're just going to have to separate the feet just a little bit. Turn the palms of the hands forward. Give your fingers a little bit of a wiggle, your shoulders a little bit of a shake, and just close your eyes here. And see if you can check in with your body. Notice areas that we've activated with creating some space, maybe some compression, and then notice the rest of the body, what that feels like. Good, well done. And just opening the eyes. So I'm going to do a Tai Chi movement. I know. So this is the only one I know. So you're just swinging your arms around and allowing your hands just to kind of flop into the body as you twist. So allow your arms to be super relaxed. Kind of get that hitting sensation. And this is really good for shifting the energy around the body, particularly around the torso, getting rid of tension in the shoulders. Good, well done. Couple more breaths. See if you can really swing your arms. It's very good for the spine as well. Yes, well done. And just slowly come back. And back to mountain. Just pausing just for a moment and just noticing what you can feel in your body. If you can feel any tingling or any warmth. Definitely feel it in my arms. And I'm just going to take the feet wider. So we're going to get into star pose first of all. So I like to have a little bit of pulling in of the heels. So the toes are just fanning out just a little bit. Legs are straight. Just taking the arms up. So kind of get that X shape. You go as wide as you want to. So what I like to do is spread my fingers, really push the fingertips away. And we're going to tense up our glutes, tuck the tailbone under a little bit. Really feel that stretch up, particularly from the waist. See if you can lift your ribs up. When you're breathing in and out, you should feel that expansion around the lower part of the body. I feel like I said expansion quite a lot today because that's my word of the day. Feel that expansion. Good. Now we're just going to bring the hands down to the hips, nice and slow. And we're going to bring the heels in a little bit further, and we're just going to soften the knees just so that we can just feel a little bit of a stretch around in the groin. And we're seeing if we can just pull the knees back a little bit. You're going to feel that your quads are engaged. That is good. Think about pulling the tailbone under, and we've got a really straight long line through the spine. So a big strong pose. Fabulous. Let's straighten the legs. Now we're going to drop the fingertips of the right hand down and take the left arm up. First of all, we're going to see if we can keep the torso quite straight. So it is definitely pushing the fingertips down of the right hand and lifting the left arm up. And then we're going to drop the fingertips down just a little bit so that we can get into a deeper side stretch. You can choose whether you really extend that left arm up and over or just lift it up. Remember that everything that you do is going to create some sensation in your body, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for expansion, everybody. In certain places, breathe into the spaces that you can feel that you've created in the body. Well done. Very slowly coming back. Same thing other side. So the left arm comes down, right arm comes up. We're pushing the fingertips away first of all. And then going in for a little bit of a side stretch. So all I'm doing is just focusing the left fingertips to come down. Pushing the right fingertips up. Just finding a little bit of space to come over. Good. Very slowly coming back. Beautiful. Drop the arms down. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. Now we're going to take a triangle pose to the right. So left foot in, right foot coming forward. Decide if you need to change the space between your feet. And then think about, let's pull the left hip back a little bit. So we're trying to have It's almost like you're in between two panes of glass. Think about that. It's quite difficult. My right knee pulls in when I'm sort of trying to pull that left hip back. So my glass probably needs to be a little bit wider. Let's take the arms long. So I'm going to take the fingertips of the right hand over so that you can feel that kind of little bit of a moving forward. And then we're going to drop the right arm down. So palm of the right hand away from the body, left arm up, and then start to push the hips back. And we're trying to lengthen through the right side of the body. Gaze is either down or up, your choice, and trying to stack every joint of the arms from this left hand down. So if you just have a look at what I'm doing, my arms are kind of as straight as possible. And then very slowly coming back up. So a lot of control, keep the arms wide. Can we keep them there? Let's turn the feet to the other side. Push the fingertips away. Drop down to this side. Oh, did you hear that crack? Something in my left hip. So let's think about, have we got ourselves in the right position here? Are our arms, are our joints and our arms stacked? Can we feel that stretch in this left side of the body as well? Good. Very slowly coming up. Let's have the arms long. And then this time we're going to bring the feet forward. Straighten the feet this time. We're going to bend the elbows so the palms of the hands face up, and we're going to bend the knees into goddess. Look at that. Smooth. So really generous tucking in of the tailbone, pulling in through the belly button. Take the knees out. Strong pose. Just imagine what kind of goddess you are today. I am the goddess of expansion. Oh, whatever that means. Good. So one more breath in and exhale. Back up. Fabulous. Well done. Let's take a forward fold. So let's go for a halfway lift. Hands to the hips. And we're very slowly just going to come forward. So get to that point where your back is as flat as possible. So your hamstrings are going to kind of be in control of this. And let's take a big deep breath in. And then we're going to fold forward. I always enjoy this. Drop the arms down. So we're in that forward fold position again. Yeah, my favourite. Wow. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. And we're just going to hang here. If you want to take your feet a little bit wider, you can do. You know, I'm just thinking about showing you my party trick. Let's see if I can do it. So, join in if you want to. So you can take your feet quite wide. I haven't done this for a while. Oh, look at that. So into a tripod headstand. So hold in just for a couple more breaths. So if you're just in awe, this is practice. You can do it too. I'm going to very slowly get down. See if I can take my legs wide. Yes, and very slowly come on up. And then if you managed something along those lines, give yourself a round of applause. Good job, well done. Now keeping the legs there. Let me bring them in a little bit. They've gone a little bit wide for me. Hands to the hips. I'm just going to go in for a back bend here. So lift up the chest. Good, well done. Push the hips forward. And if you can, bring the elbows in. I'm very slowly coming up. Whew. Let's do a quarter turn towards the front of the mat. And just pausing back in mountain. So we've done quite a lot standing on our feet for our practice. It's only short practice. I think home practice needs to be a little bit shorter. We've definitely got energy flowing around the body. Now we're just going to do crescent thing. Crescent lunge. There we go. Take the left foot back. Similar to what we were doing before, but probably going to be a slightly shorter stance. Right knee above the ankle, lifting up that left heel. Let's swoop the arms up, lifting up and lengthening. Fabulous, well done. Let's keep the arms there and swap the legs over. So we're going to bring that left foot forward, take the right foot back. Well done. Let's have a deep breath in, and we're going to get into downward facing dog from here. So dropping the arms down, taking that left foot back, pedaling out the legs. Now we're going to get into three-legged dog. It's not something that we get into that often because it is a little bit of a challenge. If you know that this is not right for you, you could just rest in down dog. You could drop the knees down. You could do it there. So I always like to bring the feet a little bit closer in. I'm going to take the right leg up. You can point the toes if you want to. We'll try and keep the hips square for this one. Fabulous. And bending the knee. We're going to flex the foot and then open the hip. So try and keep the heel in towards the body. Good. Let's swap the legs over. Slowly bringing that right foot down. Left leg comes up. So if you want to be doing this on your knees, you're just extending that leg out. Fabulous. So bend the knee, flex the foot, open the hip. Fabulous. Well done. Let's just drop onto the knees. And then I'm just going to turn so that I can see him. I'm just going to get into a wide leg position. And we're just sitting up as tall as possible. Doing quite a lot of expansion through the groin this session. And just have a play around with flexing and then pointing the toes. Good. And then just allow the feet to relax. And we're just going to go in for a flat back here. So forward with the fingertips. So it's like you're pushing your chest forward. And think about where you are on your seat bones. So you should feel that you're coming towards the front of your seat bones. And then taking a big deep breath in, and we're going to fold forward here. So whether you can come onto your elbows, drop the head down though, wherever you are. So really deep stretch through the groin. And then very, very slowly coming up. Well done. So you might need to just bring your hands underneath your knees. Very slowly take the weight back. Just walk your feet in. And then we're going to get into cross-legged. So if you have a usual leg that comes forward when you get into cross-legged, get the other leg, because it will feel a little bit different. And if you're not keen on cross-legged, you don't need to do that. We're just going to do some twists. So making sure that the spine is nice and straight. First of all, we're going to twist over towards the left. So left hand behind the back, tented fingers, right hand on the left knee. Take a deep breath in and exhale, twist. So we try and keep the spine straight. We're just twisting. If you feel like your shoulders are activated and you want a little bit more of a gentler stretch, just relax that left shoulder. Good. Let's have a deep breath in, and on the exhale, we're very slowly coming back. Take your time. Check back in, making sure when you're central, that everything is upright, and then left hand, right knee, right hand behind you. Very slowly coming round. I always think that the second side feels a lot tighter because we've just twisted deeper into the other side. So use your breath to just help you get into this twist a little bit deeper if you want to. So I always like to move with the inhale and then relax with the exhale. So it's like you're moving, pausing if you want to. Just to play with your range of motion. Good. One more breath in and then exhale, coming back. Let's just do sun arms here. So let's bring the fingertips down with the arms straight. So this is really nice, a grounding pose. I can notice that my knees have lifted up. See if you can soften your knees down. We're going to do 4 like we did before. So deep breath in as you bring the arms up. Exhale, bringing them down. Inhale, arms up. Hands down. Good job. Well done. Let's take the gaze up as we take the arms up. Bring the arms down. And then this last one. And this time we're going to bring the hands together at heart center. And we're going to finish our practice today with one big Om. So don't worry about your neighbours. Don't worry about your partners and your kids. Let's see if we can just be as loud as possible. Obviously, you can do a tiny little one if you want to. That's more appropriate. So let's just close our eyes. Just bringing our awareness into the body. And we'll have a couple of deep breaths just preparing for this Om, a special little Om. And then breathing in for Om. And then just notice any vibrations that you can feel in the body. So just gently open your eyes. Thank you so much for practicing. If you feel that there's other things that you want to do or you're able to do a lying down Shavasana, please do that. If not, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much. Namaste.